Welcome, guys, back to Elevated Thoughts with Keeks and Fiji, Season 2.
Episode 1.
Hey, 2019, starting off.
And on and on and on and bigger, better, stronger.
Just like the music we were just playing, keeping it West Coast always.
Well, just as you can tell with our flag right here.
Nevada.
You know, Battleborn, always.
West Coast is the best coast.
Yes, it is. Battleborn.
So, yes, here we are, back at Elevated Thoughts. Whole different show, though.
Same concept, different show.
We kind of structured it a little bit. We're able to have different segments now throughout the show. We'll have about 4 different segments this time.
Yeah, 4 different segments. I'll name them off here for you. Our top 5 plus 1, which is our first segment. Then we have our Keeks and Fiji plus 1. And you'll get to know our plus 1 here shortly. Then we're going to follow that off with 9 minutes plus 1, which is an audience interaction segment where we want to interact with you, the audience. And then, of course, we're going to have our last segment, which we're labeling the one that got away. And that's pretty much what we're going to our predictions for the following show, which will be episode 2 after this one. Yep. And we'll tell you more about that here shortly.
So we have our top 5 plus 1, where we talk about five facts, and we also throw in the plus 1 as well.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about the top 5 best NFL playoff games, excluding the Super Bowls.
Yep. And then, let's see, Keeks and Fiji plus 1. Today we'll have our beer and spirit connoisseur, Sean. He came in with the bottle of Maker's Mark, so he's going to be making Manhattans for us. So we're looking forward to that.
Looking forward to that. I'm not much of a whiskey person, so I'm interested to see what kind of elevated thoughts Sean has about Maker's Mark.
He's going to be explaining to us a little bit about Maker's Mark and about a Manhattan and how it's made, or I'm not quite sure what he's going to do.
And other tasty cocktails. Tour, you know? Exactly. So he'll
teach us.
Exactly. He'll teach us, and we'll tell you about Maker's Mark whiskey.
Yep, of course. And let's see, our and 1 today. Go ahead and explain our and 1.
So our and 1. So are you talking about? Let's see here.
Interaction with our fans.
So that's our 9 minutes plus 1.
Oh, that is our 9 minutes plus 1.
Yeah, we changed it from add 1 to plus 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
9 minutes plus 1.
And that's where we interact with you, the audience. You know, you can find us on Facebook, Elevated Thoughts with Keeks and Fiji, to where anything you post, any messages, whatever you guys want to talk about, anything we talk about here, anything you guys want to talk about, you just let us know on our Facebook page. And make sure you like our Facebook page too as well. And of course, subscribe to YouTube, find us on YouTube, and you'll be able to keep up with every episode
of Elevated Thoughts with Keeks and Fiji.
Season 2, Episode 1.
Yes. And then we have the one that got away. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about the conference championships next week. Mm-hmm. And make our predictions, I guess. Yeah,
we'll make our predictions for the conference championships. Of course, you have the Patriots versus New England Patriots. That's going to be an old versus new generation type of game. So I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah. And then, of course, you got the new style of football against the old style of football when you got Drew Brees against Jared Goff in the NFC conference championship.
Of course, yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to talk about, and we'll tell you more about it on that segment.
Yeah. So that's pretty much Elevated Thoughts, Episode 1. The structure of our season is pretty much those 4 main segments. We'll be able to add some segments. Yeah,
we'll add some segments, keep it fun here and there. You know, depending interaction we have with you guys, the audience.
Also maybe even change our shooting places. We might be able to shoot in different places.
Yeah, if you guys want, you know, we'd like to go any local businesses who would love to have us.
Yeah.
You know, we'll go out there, shoot our show from there.
We'll bring our equipment, we'll bring everything, be able to shoot the show at your venue or even just at a park, maybe in the
summertime. In the summertime. Right now it's cold.
We'll try to keep it fun.
Yeah, we want to keep it fun. And, of course, we want to keep, you know, all of us, we want to entertain. We want to keep you guys, you know, up and running with our facts, our elevated thoughts. And
always
go on from there. You know, I'm excited to get this going, to get this started. You know, we have Elevated Thoughts Season 2, Episode 1. And I'm ready to get this rocking, Keeks.
Yeah, man, it sounds fun. Sounds like a good season ahead. Welcome back to Elevated Thoughts with Keeks and Fiji. We just got through the first segment where we talked about
a rundown
of what the show's gonna be. Let me reiterate that we're doing the top 5 plus 1. We got Keeks and Fiji
right now
plus 1, and 1, and then we got the one that got away. Let's see. We call it 9 minutes plus 1 instead of and 1. I apologize for that. We do have the top 5 plus 1 coming up now. NFL playoff games, excluding Super Bowls, top 5
plus 1. So,
lead us.
As a Niner fan, every time I think playoffs, I think Niners recent run out there because of Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh did wonders for the Niners. He was there from 2011 to 2014, 4 seasons with the Niners. And, of course, he gave us a record of 44 wins, 19 losses, and 1 tie throughout his 4 seasons there. And he led us to the playoffs 3 out of the 4 years he was there with the Niners. A 5-3 record in the playoffs and some very memorable playoff games to reach to the Super Bowl, which they lost to the Ravens.
They gave that to Ravens.
And, of course, everybody has their, their opinion about the Super Bowl. It would have been nice to reach our 6th Super Bowl win. However, throwing the ball to Michael Crabtree 4 times isn't going to get you that ring. Yeah. So that's my opinion on that Super Bowl right there,
I feel like Singletary set up Harbaugh and a good defensive team.
He had the heart and soul in Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman.
Yeah.
The heart and soul of that defense. Everything else just came into play. You had Aldon Smith. You had Justin Smith, the Smith brothers, man. Just right there, they already had that interior fucking, and then you had your linebackers, the heart and soul. Then after that, it doesn't matter who you have in the secondary, But at the end of the day, we couldn't quite reach to where we wanted, which is, of course, the NFL championship. 4 teams have a chance to win it. We'll get to our predictions in this year's conference championship games later down the road. But my honorable mention here for Jim Harbaugh was in the 2013 NFC Championship game between the Niners and the Seahawks. They had great games in the playoffs. This one stands out the most because I'll never forget the play where Navarro Bowman stripped the ball out of Marshawn Lynch's hands, strips it, falls down on the ground with it with a broken knee. He tore his MCL, ACL, and PCL that specific game. And that just shows how much heart Navarro Bowman had with that Niners defense. It showed
they were beasts.
It showed what kind of team they were in the playoffs. And because of that, I'll give them the honorable mention.
All right.
And of course, I'm going to give them the number 5 spot too as well. Because as a number 5 spot in 2012 when they beat the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Championship 28-24. And Frankie Gore, after he scored a second touchdown of the game, down 17 points. 17-0. He came back with the second touchdown, did the Dirty Bird in Atlanta. Which I love.
Yeah.
Just did it all over Atlanta, which I love. And, of course, that gives them their 6th berth to the Super Bowl. And it still, to this very day, drops a tear in my eyes that we couldn't win it.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
And as a Niner fan, of course, as all you Niner fans out there.
If Alex Smith would have been there, it would have been a different situation.
I don't know.
But you never know.
You never know.
He did lead the way.
Alex Smith had his chance, in 2011.
Yeah, he got benched. Kaepernick came
lost. They lost in the NFC Championship game to the Giants. Those 2 most punts by Kyle Williams. And we'll never forget those names, in our minds, to where Kyle Williams not blew the game once, but twice. And the Giants went on to beat the Patriots in that Super Bowl. So
the Giants own the Patriots.
Yeah. But the Patriots are looking good this year, but we'll get to them. So on the number 4. Number 4. No Niners this one, which I could give a top 5 for Niners playoff games itself. But I got to show other teams some love too.
That great playoff game.
We got to show other teams some love too. So in the number 4 spot, the 2006 AFC Championship game where the Colts defeated the New England Patriots 38-34, where Peyton Manning finally beats Tom Brady and the New England Patriots to go to the Super Bowl and beat the Chicago Bears for Peyton Manning's first and only Super Bowl win with the Colts in 2006. Of course, he won with Denver later down in his career. But this specific game right here,
at an old age too, he was up there.
Yeah, I mean, he's lost to Tom Brady various times.
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
And many people have.
Tom Terrific from 2000 all the way to now. Owns the NFL.
Yeah.
This guy is the GOAT.
Yeah, he is the GOAT.
Tom Brady.
He already passed Montana, dude.
Tom Brady and Joe Montana are right here.
I don't know. I think he already passed Montana, dude.
And I can see that too, but that's a different conversation later down the road.
No, but of course, definitely 1-2 for sure.
We can lead over and talk about, who's the best quarterback, because at the end of the day, Joe Montana hasn't lost a Super Bowl.
That's true.
But
I think Brady's
he's 4-0 in Super Bowls.
I think he's been to more Super Bowls though.
But he has. Tom Brady, definitely. I mean, he's won, 5? Yeah. And lost 2, so he's been to 7 Super Bowls. Yeah. 7 Super Bowls. But it really depends how you see, just like the Michael Jordan-LeBron James debate.
No, definitely Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's like who?
LeBron James.
But LeBron has been to more championships than Michael Jordan. So it's like the same debate right now.
LeBron doesn't have more championships.
But it's the same debate.
Brady does have.
Exactly. It's like Joe Montana doesn't have the same number of Super Bowls as Tom Brady. But at the end of the day, Joe Montana is undefeated in championship games versus Tom Brady losing 2.
Okay.
And LeBron James losing 4.
Okay.
5. But that's a different topic,
That's the kind of thoughts we're trying to find here,
And we want to interact with you, the audience, about that,
We want to talk about it.
Exactly. So, but yeah, number 4, like I said, the Colts over New England in the 2006 AFC Championship. The Colts overcame a 21-3 first half deficit to finally beat them and earn Peyton Manning a trip to the Super Bowl and winning one against the Chicago Bears. So that's number 3. That's number 4. Number 3, this is for all you Tim Tebow maniacs out there. That's when Tim Tebow defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 29-23 in overtime, where Tim Tebow,
it was a good game.
In the 2011 AFC wildcard game, he threw an 80-yard touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas to beat the heavily favored Pittsburgh Steelers in overtime in the raucous, mile-high Denver environment. Do you remember where you went? Do you remember that game, Keeks?
I do. I remember where I was at when I saw that game.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
I was watching. I remember I was getting ready for something.
For Tim Tebow.
Who cannot root for Tim Tebow?
At that time, everybody was rooting for.
And congratulations to Tim Tebow on this recent engagement. He's finally gonna get some loving, man. He's gonna get it in.
Oh man.
And so he says, if he hasn't yet,
I don't know.
I don't believe that guy, but whatever.
Power to him.
Exactly. I hope he makes a career in with the Mets. I hope he makes it with the New York Mets in the MLB. To show all these haters out there, all these doubters out there, that he can play not just football, but he can play baseball as well.
And he also does commentary too.
Exactly. And he's a great commentator. So that's who I give my number 3 spot to.
Tim
Tebow.
And
the Denver Broncos in my top 5 best NFL playoff games, excluding the Super Bowls. We'll have a Super Bowl top 5 in a couple weeks. And then you can give us your thoughts about your best Super Bowl games. And you can give your thoughts about your top 5 best playoff games, excluding the Super Bowl. What do you think of the list so far, Keeks?
I'm liking it.
You like it?
Liking it.
Well, yeah.
I'm mostly letting him take over this one because he's the one who is very knowledgeable when it comes to football. You know,
love football. Love football.
Just football. We all have our specialties. You know, so when it comes to football, I'll let him handle it because he does a good job. I fully support your list. You already ran it through me. We disagreed on.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course.
We agreed on others, but you know that's where it comes down to. That's why we're a team, right?
Exactly. We got to keep it going, you know.
Go ahead.
Number 2, we have the infamous tuck rule game in the 2001 AFC divisional game between the Patriots defeating the Raiders. The Raiders. 16-13. Labeled the Snowball.
Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties going on, you know. First episode.
Exactly. First episode, we're going to have our technical difficulties.
First episode, that's jitters, I guess. But,
you know, it is a setback, but at the end of the day, it was a positive because we were able to get a nice, refreshing cocktail.
Yeah, our beer and spirit connoisseur, Sean, in the meantime, was able to whip us up some Manhattans right now.
Yeah, they're very delicious. I'm not a whiskey guy, man, and I know it's cold, but this right here, this can warm you up, you know?
Some Maker's Mark whiskey, and then he, let's see, he also had some sweet vermouth.
He'll tell you all about it. Yeah, he'll tell you. Yeah.
Should be somewhere around here. But yeah, in the meantime, sorry about that. I think we're on top 5.
I'll tell you where we're at exactly.
We're on number 2, weren't we?
We're on number 2.
Yeah.
You know, but before that, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the list so far?
Oh, you know what? I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
You know, and we're gonna give it a run. We're gonna go ahead and run it back. Our number 5.
This list is mostly both of us, but mostly him. You know, we had our disagreements.
And it's top 5 plus 1.
Yeah.
Best NFL playoff games, excluding the Super Bowls. And our honorable mention was, of course, the 2013 NFC Championship game between the Niners and the Seattle Seahawks. And I gave him an honorable mention to Jim Harbaugh because he did great.
That was the plus 1.
That was the plus 1.
Okay, so number 5, what was number 5?
Number 5 was the Niners prevailing over the Falcons in the 2012 NFC Championship game.
That was a great game. Okay.
You know,
and then, we also
number 4 was a 2006 AFC Championship game between the Colts and the New England Patriots, where Peyton Manning finally defeated Tom Brady 38-34 to advance in the Super Bowl to win his first Super Bowl against the Chicago Bears.
Nice. Okay, and then
Number 3
was a good one.
2011 AFC wild card win for the Broncos against the Steelers in overtime, 29-23, and that's Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow Maniacs. Tim Tebow, and like I said, you know, hopefully you make it to the New York Mets in the MLB level, and that's where we left off.
All right, number 2.
Number 2. You ready for this one? I give this one here to all the Raider fans. You know, most of my friends, most of my homies, they're Raider fans.
Well, we do live in the area where you're a Niner fan or a Raider fan.
And
anything else, you probably moved here.
And this was a specific game where I can agree that it was a fumble. And this is where the infamous tuck rule was made because of this game in 2001 during the AFC divisional round, where the Patriots defeated the Oakland Raiders 16-13 in the game declared the Snowball.
The Snowball. I remember that game clearly. I was at my uncle's house and I was a young guy, but
I was in high school. I'll never forget. I was in high school. Get ready to go out, and that's when the tuck rule happened. And we all know about it. That's why there's not much to explain about the tuck rule. To where I can only agree to all the Raider fans out there that they were screwed. They were screwed. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't for that, the Patriots wouldn't be where they are now. Oops.
It did change. It did change a lot.
It changed the game. It changed the game to where the NFL is now. So,
and Tom Brady is the golden child. Everybody knows that.
The GOAT from the West Coast. From the West Coast.
He's the GOAT.
From the West Coast. So, that's number 2 in my list.
All right,
we can go on and on and on about number 2 and the tuck rule, but now we're gonna go down to number 1. Drum roll, please, Keeks. And that will be the 1998 NFC wild card game between the Niners and the Packers, where the Niners finally beat the Packers on their 4th encounter with Brett Favre and the Packers. 30-27. And that game is labeled the Catch 2 because of T.O. T.O. T.O.
T.O. was great. You know what?
The legend of T.O.
Whenever I think about
was
T.O.,
created that day.
The time where you stomped on the Cowboys star. Oh man, that was great, man.
Yeah, no. T.O. had a lot of good memories. Had a lot of great memories, but that was his first one with the Niners. People can talk and debate about this game too, because during the last drive the Niners had to win, to lead up to the Catch 2, Jerry Rice fumbled the ball. But at that time, they did not have instant replay like they have now. So they couldn't review back to if it was a fumble or not. But clearly, when you look back into it, you can look it up in Google, whatever you want, in YouTube. It was a fumble. Jerry Rice, it was a fumble. And he'll admit it. He'll tell you straight up it was a fumble. But because of the element of catching that ball after he dropped so many passes throughout the game, Steve Young still had confidence to throw it to a young T.O. for the game-winning touchdowns with seconds remaining to advance in the playoffs.
Go Niners, always.
Always go Niners, but I would like to give an honorable mention to the number 1. I don't know if you remember this game or not, Keeks, but I give an honorable mention here.
Back to the early 90s.
Way back. Exactly. We're going to the 1992 AFC wild card game between the Buffalo Bills, and I'm gonna make you young right now, Keeks. The Buffalo Bills against the Houston Oilers, not the Texans, the Oilers.
That's funny. My brother-in-law's a big Bills fan, so one of the only 2 I know in my life, which is funny.
The Houston Oilers, aka the Tennessee Titans, not the Houston Texans, but the Tennessee Titans. For not many people who know about that.
I remember with the oil, whatever you call
I'll give you the best player from the Houston Oilers besides Warren Moon, who lost in that game.
Color like baby blue too.
Baby blue, red, yeah, and white.
I remember that.
For you young folks out there aspiring to be running backs, Google Earl Campbell. Hands down, one of the most physical running backs I've ever seen in my life. And that's what gave me an inspiration to be running back, because he wasn't flashy like Barry Sanders. He was north-south and just power all the way.
Run and gun.
So the Buffalo Bills came back from a 32-point deficit with 28 minutes remaining in that game to beat them in overtime, 41-38.
Right on. Nice.
And there were
great ones. These were great facts. I like them.
And it wasn't Jim Kelly, the great Buffalo Bill quarterback who led the Buffalo Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls. It was the backup, Frank Wright, who is the current coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
Right on.
So I give that an honorable mention as a number 1 because they came back.
Gotta pull out the history books.
They came back from 20. What is it? How many points? 32 points with 28 minutes remaining.
That's a hell of a deficit.
With the backup quarterback?
Yeah.
Shit.
Hey, that must have been a good backup quarterback that was paying attention. He was doing his job.
Exactly.
That's why he's the backup. You know, there's so many great backup quarterbacks out there that should be starting quarterback. I.e., straight off the bat, Nick Foles and Carson Wentz situation.
Colin Kaepernick.
Man, it's just ridiculous how these 2 quarterbacks are quarterbacks, and they're high quality quarterbacks on one team. I don't think they'll be on the same team next year.
Yeah, so that
some other team's gonna get them. Off topic, but just thinking that.
So that concludes my top 5.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty cool.
I like it.
It was pretty cool. So whatever, I hope you guys agree with my list, agree with some of the games there. I'm a Niners fan, so I can't not keep it, to a minimum without the Niners because...
Dude, trust me, I convinced him. I'm like, dude, come on, we can't just do one.
I could have done the top 5 in the Niners playoff games.
I mean, I'm a Niner fan too, but, we're trying to be open to everybody, every team. There are 32 teams, right? So,
we got to show love to everybody too, so that makes sense. That makes sense. So that concludes this segment here. Next week, we'll have another top 5 plus 1. But in the meantime, stay tuned for our next segment.
We're actually bringing in...
We have our beer and spirit connoisseur Sean coming in and joining us.
Not sure if he likes the name, but you know what? We'll stick with it.
And we're going to keep it that way. Just like this Manhattan he poured us here during our technical difficulties.
Nice. Tasting delicious. And the glass is frozen because it's cold in here.
Just like this temperature here. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're watching and listening to Elevated Thoughts with Keeks and Fiji.
Thank you very much. Hey, welcome guys to Elevated Thoughts with Keeks and Fiji. But now we got our special guest,
Our
Sean.
plus one.
Our plus one.
Our plus one.
Our beer and spirit connoisseur. Do you appreciate that? Or
I'm okay with it.
You okay with it? All right,
okay
cool.
with it.
Then our beer and spirit connoisseur, Sean. He's here today with Maker's Mark whiskey. And he's going to be making Manhattans. Well, he already did make
I'll bring out
Manhattans.
a bottle.
We got it right here already. Look at that. Bam.
We got the Manhattan here. Made out of that bottle of Maker's Mark over there. He brought his own bottle as well, so we have plenty of Maker's Mark to go around. We got to make one for our camera guy back there, Mr. Mark Martinez.
Mark Martinez, he's back there in the cameras.
Doing our camera work.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
We appreciate that. Much appreciated. But yeah, we're going to be doing Maker's Mark Manhattans today, and we got our buddy Sean here.
Keeks, thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you.
Fiji.
Anytime, Sean. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you coming and letting us know about this Maker's Mark whiskey and this wonderful Manhattan that you have made us. And let us know a little bit about this Maker's Mark and this Manhattan you made us.
I'll get right into it. Maker's Mark, for those that don't know, it's a product put out by Beam Santori, a big conglomerate whiskey maker. They make most of the whiskey or distribute it that you've seen. Maker's Mark, however, is first introduced in 1959 by a guy named Bill Samuel Sr., and he made it from his own distillery, Burke's Distillery, and it's been pretty much the same ever since. It's 90 proof double distilled whiskey made with 16% red winter wheat, 70% corn, 14% malted barley. It's a bourbon whiskey, like most American whiskeys, which means it has 51% or more corn sour mash. Kind of common knowledge. It's aged 6 to 7 years in charred oak casks. The barrels are rotated by hand. And Samuel's wife, the guy that made this stuff, his wife is the one that dipped it in the wax to give it the iconic seal it has today.
Yeah. This right here on top?
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, every bottle comes with that. And it's all different.
And they're all different because they're
they're all handcrafted differently, right? Yeah.
They're all dipped in a different wax, huh?
Yep.
Oh, wow, that's nice. Okay, sorry, go ahead, continue.
Anyway, that's just the general overview of the whiskey itself. Going on the Beam website, you could see the aroma notes, the taste notes.
Wait, I had to stop you real quick. Are you smoking a cigar?
I am.
That is pretty awesome.
What cigar is that? This is an Illusione 88 from the Fumari Cigar Boutique up in Reno. This is their own house brand, the Illusiones, and the 88 is one of the more popular ones. It's a fine cigar. I like it.
Nice. I like cigars myself too, so I'm a big cigar fan.
So Sean not only can tell you about beer, spirits, but he could also tell you about cigars as well.
Hey,
not as much on the cigar side. I just like smoking them.
Oh, okay, perfect then. But he'll let you know. He could give you some knowledge, the basic knowledge of what to smoke and what not to smoke.
I keep it simple.
Always smoke a brick house. Always smoke a brick house.
There you go.
He's right there. I have not had a bad one.
There's never not one time that you should not smoke a brick house.
Yeah, no,
From
cigars.
Nicaragua. Great cigar. Okay, but go ahead, continues with the Maker's Mark.
So I'm just going to pour myself a glass here to get started.
Perfect then.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Tell us,
you're gonna make the Manhattans, right?
You're gonna make us a Manhattan, right?
Well, first I'm going to give myself a little bit of nip of it, straight, neat.
Okay, so how do you make it, man? Tell us. Well,
Before I get into the Manhattan part, let's just polish off that beauty.
Okay, perfect.
There we go.
Is that enough to make one, or would you add more?
Oh, he's just
Never
gonna
waste,
take a drink.
never waste a drop.
Okay.
I just want to get myself a little bit of flavor for it.
Okay, you want to taste it first. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Typical whiskey tasting. You get your nose in there.
Yeah.
You sniff it. Try and get some scent off of it before you take a first sip. And that is a lovely bourbon. I like it. Right off the bat, you can definitely taste the fact that it was aged in a charred oak cask. Gives it a nice smoothness to it. Gives it a little bit of a caramel flavor to it as well. This is it's not particularly sweet whiskey, so if that's what you're looking for, you might want to try this. But other than that, it's very light, mild, subtle. The Maker's Mark websites themselves describe it as sweet and balanced with caramel and fruity essence. I don't get that much fruit off of it myself personally, but it's a good whiskey.
I agree with you on that one, Sean. It's not as fruity as they say it does,
Yeah, but that's why we do the sweet vermouth and make a Manhattan.
Exactly,
because it has the sweetness to it.
And you did on our specific Manhattan.
Yeah.
We did ask for extra sweet vermouth, but you can make it any way you want.
So let me turn this into a Manhattan right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
We'll
get
go
right
ahead and
into
just bring out everything you need and just go ahead and.
And the
Let me
whiskey,
move this out of
you're
your way.
describing it the way I tasted it myself, Sean. When you said it, who described it as that again there, Sean? You said what?
Off their website, they have, tasting notes of sweet and balanced with caramel, vanilla, and fruity essence.
Yeah.
But for me,
I tasted caramel, the caramel vanilla
for me,
essence.
it is a very balanced whiskey.
Yeah.
Something I personally prefer is just a whiskey that just runs on your palate. It's smooth. It dissipates. Some whiskey hits you higher or lower on your palate. This one just kind of rolls across it and then disappears by the time it hits your throat. It's refreshing.
Now, would you prefer to drink it chilled or just drink it room temperature?
I'm a purist, so I usually drink my whiskey neat, no matter what.
Okay.
But there are times where I'm in the mood for a cocktail, and I'll go ahead and make a cocktail of this right now.
Okay.
Got a little bit of ice here.
That's always a must when it comes to making a tasty cocktail.
Yes.
Just go ahead and do this subtle. You can, you could do a Manhattan on the rocks. You could do it shaken, stirred, strained, however you want to do it. I'm just going to do mine on the rocks, and I'm going to add the ingredients. Usually, classic Manhattan comes with Angostura bitters. We don't really have any here right now. I neglected to bring it. That's my bad.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's still good, man. This tastes delicious.
Introduce the bottle of what you're bringing.
Oh, this is a bottle of the Dolan Sweet Vermouth. It's actually a new vermouth I've just picked up, so I can't really tell you about this one yet, but I'm about to.
So vermouth, what is that exactly, man?
Vermouth is just it's more of a mixer. Not a lot of people.
It's like a wine mixed with brandy.
It
right?
tastes like wine. It tastes like wine, exactly.
It's like a wine.
You nailed it. It tastes like wine.
I think that's what it is. We have two back here too.
We have a few selections of the sweet vermouth.
Yeah, we have a couple of sweet vermouths. We have the Gallo, and the Cinzano.
Yeah.
So which one would you recommend out of the three there?
They're all good. I like them myself too.
The Cinzano I've tried before. It's all right. The Gallo I know is definitely a lot sweeter. This one, as I said, I haven't tried it yet. I'm about to mix it.
All right, then, Sean, we'll taste it right now then, and then you'll come with mine.
It was good.
Hey, it tastes delicious.
I put the Gallo in yours.
Oh,
I put this in Keeks over here.
He gave me some.
Okay.
He gave me some.
It doesn't taste bad, but I do want to taste it with that.
scenes.
I did taste that straight up, though. I did taste that straight up.
For those who don't
And it wasn't
know,
bad.
Manhattan is usually 2 parts bourbon, 1 part sweet vermouth, and then a dash of the bitters. And sometimes, depending on how people like it, more or less sweet, they might even add a little bit of cherry juice to it, which is what I did for these gentlemen since they want something
Got
sweet.
some
Yes.
cherries in there too.
I see the color of the red right there, and I see the cherry right there in the bottom.
So, just going to be light on the sweet vermouth with mine. And,
And one for the camera guy. Don't forget the camera guy.
oh,
Hey, Mark Martinez will love.
the man doing all the work
Mark
behind the
Martinez
scenes.
will love. He said he would love to have a Manhattan with you.
Actually,
All of
let's
it.
just pour that
Join the
for
Manhattan.
You want your sweet? Okay.
He gives him the thumbs
That's a
up.
big
He's
thumbs
giving a big 2 thumbs up back there from Mark Martinez.
There we
yes,
are.
sir. So we'll pour How many ounces would you say you're pouring in the Manhattan?
About 4 ounces, right?
4 ounces of Maker's Mark.
No, usually maybe 2 to 4.
Okay.
That looks good.
Depends on what you want. Well, the ice is taking a lot of filler there, so.
He pasted the taste you want, right?
Yeah. But Sean he's a strong drinker, so his drink and most other people's drinks are a little different.
Right?
I'll pour a little bit of cherry juice in here for you.
Here you go. I hope you enjoy here, Mark Martinez.
That looks
here.
Delicious.
It looks wonderful.
It tastes delicious.
The spoon's over there if you need to stir it.
It kind of reminds me of my shark bite that I make in the summertime.
All right.
That's for you. All right.
Of course, there we are.
Let's taste this Manhattan.
Hey,
Cheers.
cheers, huh? Hey, thank you, Sean. Thank you. You're good. You're good. Hey, Keeks, cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.
And this is in every segment in our +1 segment here with Elevate Thoughts with Keeks and Fiji.
And then we also we can't forget our camera guys. So go ahead and come get your drink and just go ahead and do the cheers with us.
Hey, cheers, Mark Martinez.
Cheers, Mark
Cheers,
Martinez.
Cheers. Cheers to you guys too.
Season 2,
Episode 1.
Good way to kick off a day.
Keeks and Fiji.
You know, now Mark Martinez could, you know.
And thank you, Sean, for introducing us to Maker's Mark whiskey, sweet vermouth, and showing us how to make.
Let me tell you a little bit more about this Maker's Mark. Actually, Maker's Mark, it's a fairly cheap bottle. I mean, screw on cap, but not necessarily always taste of cheapness. But it's reasonably priced, $25 to $30. You can't go wrong buying it. I always keep a bottle around. You can find it just about anywhere. Walmart has it. Smith's has it. Any of your liquor stores have it. There's a YouTuber I watch on occasion that actually gave me a great quote about it, saying, if you own a bar and you don't carry Maker's Mark, you're doing it wrong.
That's true. I do like Maker's Mark. It's a great bourbon.
You know, I'm not a big fan of whiskey, but you know what? This is very delicious.
Yeah, it's smooth, it's great, and you know, it's not going to be too harsh on a beginner that's looking to try and get into whiskey. This is a great starter whiskey for anyone that's trying to experiment around.
Nice.
Cheers.
And before we end the segment here, what other creations can you come up with the Maker's Mark brand besides, you know, a vermouth?
Oh, you
and
can,
this Manhattan.
You
what else can you make with it?
Well, bourbons you can make a lot of recipes out of. I mean, the top bourbon recipe is usually an old fashioned, which is
old fashioned, yeah.
Old fashioned, 2 fingers of well, here's what you do: you get a glass, you muddle in a couple of cherries on top of some sugar with some orange, with an orange slice. You muddle that all together, put a dash of bitters on it. You pour a little bit of rocks on. You hit it with 2 fingers of the bourbon. Then you fill it up with soda water. It's a refreshing drink, especially for the summer, which we are far away from.
Yeah, exactly. We hope to be there in the next 5-6 months.
Right now, I just want the whiskey to warm me.
Yeah, exactly. It's warming me up. So thank you, Sean, again for coming. Very much appreciated, and
problem.
looking forward to our next segment here, which we're going to have a different type of spirit. With
Our
us.
next whiskey, I've decided, is Basil Hayden. Another
next week.
Another American-made bourbon. Yeah.
All right. So next week we're going to keep our
Basil Hayden.
Yeah. So we're going to keep that going there
Thank
with
you, Sean.
our
We appreciate your time.
Thank
with
you.
our episode
We
for next
appreciate
week.
your knowledge as well.
Thank you, guys.
Sean.
Welcome back to Elevated Thoughts with Keeks and Fiji.
Yep.
We're trying to introduce these short commercial breaks. Hopefully, get some sponsors. You know, that's just our process that we're trying to develop right now.
Yep.
We're trying to break it into segments with commercial breaks in between. You know, it's just something that we're trying to do. At the moment, we are what we are, right? We're just starting.
Yeah, we're starting, and we want to make sure.
There's always room for improvement. You know, there's always room for growth. And if you guys have any great ideas, any good ideas that might improve our video podcast, or if there's
anything in general with our show with Elevated Thoughts, Keeks and Fiji, you know,
of course.
We want to make sure we're bigger
right now
and better.
We're trying to sponsor liquors and stuff like that, but I mean, if your business or something, we're hopefully we're gonna get to a support base where we have a lot of followers and we'll have a lot of impressions on people throughout a day or throughout show, and hopefully we'll have sponsors that will be able to help us out with our show and our growth, and we'll also be able to help out the sponsors by getting their name out, their business out, You know?
And that's what this segment's all about right here.
Win-win.
Our segment, 9 minutes plus 1. That's our interaction with you, the audience, to where we want to know what you guys are thinking. We want to know what you guys want us to talk about or want to talk with us about. You know,
Yep.
we did have a couple shout outs there on our
Just
Facebook page.
explanation of the commercials. That's why we're doing commercials. But yeah, 9 minutes plus 1. What is it about?
Yeah, like I was saying, it's an audience interaction segment to where we want to talk about what you guys want us to talk about.
What is the topic today, though?
You know, we had a couple shout outs there on Facebook about Sean McVay being the next Bill Belichick.
Oh, yeah, that was Pablo Lepe.
Yeah.
Shout out, bro. Thanks for that comment. We
Yeah.
did talk about that.
Exactly.
You also talked about the Saints.
Yeah, the
He likes
Saints.
The Saints, even though he's a Niner fan, you said, I believe.
Yeah, you know, go Niners. You know, our top 5 pretty
Always
much.
Go Niners? Hell yeah, go Niners.
Always, you know, our original flag was Niners, you know, and I've wanted to fight hard to keep the Niners flag right here.
It might make
But-
a special appearance every now and then.
When we have a Niners dedicated episode,
Yeah.
which we will, you know, we want to throw out our favorite teams out there.
But
We
like
want
I
to
said, we're trying
reiterate,
hit
you know.
everybody, so we're not just trying to be Niners, but at the same time, go Niners. Hey.
You know?
Yeah, like he said, he was comparing McVay to Belichick, too, I believe.
Yeah. And that's what I just said, you know?
Yeah, let's what was it?
Yeah, and McVay, he grew up in the NFL. So he has the potential to be a Bill Belichick who also grew up in the NFL. You know, they have comparison. You got the old school versus the new school.
I think
You know?
Belichick was an older coach, though.
But he started older, of course. You know, because back into the day, you had to give
He
your
was like an
time.
assistant,
Yeah, you had to give your time and effort to earn that position.
Yeah.
Now, it's who you know. And in McVay's case,
He grew up in the NFL.
he was born in the NFL ground.
Yeah.
His grandfather was the general manager for the Niners. His father played a defensive back in the NFL. Now, what do you expect him to be?
Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
He is born with NFL blood.
He's like, what's his name? Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. He grew up in, his dad was a football player, right?
Exactly.
So he grew up in the sports world.
Yeah.
You know, when you grow up in that world, it becomes comfortable to you.
Yeah.
So you can become a superstar. And
Christian McCaffrey, running back of the Panthers.
Yeah, another day.
His parents played professional sports. His mom was a professional swimmer. His dad played, Ed McCaffrey, which most of y'all know. He was an NFL receiver for the Denver Broncos. He won 2 Super Bowls with them. You know? So,
Bloodline is in
it
the-
is the next generation. And that's what these conference championship games are going to be all about. Old versus the new. You got AFC, Tom Brady, old Tom Brady, defending his belt against newcomer Patrick Mahomes. And in the NFC, you have veteran Drew Brees defending his belt in the NFC against Jared Goff.
Yeah, that's another comment.
Yeah.
Jules Contreras.
Yeah.
He also said that about veterans, and he said that about...
It's the old with the new.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's another topic that, you know, our audience talked about that wants us to touch up on.
And we'll make shout-outs. You know, we will ask you if it's okay for us to make the shout-out in our show.
Exactly.
You can comment on our page, our YouTube page, our Facebook page. We'll ask you if it's okay for us to bring it up during our show. We will never make a comment if you don't want us to bring it up. If you don't want us to make the shout-out, it's okay. We do appreciate the support, though. But we did ask our those two gentlemen, and they said it was okay. So we brought up the comment, and we do appreciate those comments.
Exactly.
We'll be bringing out stuff on our Facebook page throughout the...
Yeah, we'll be throwing up posts here and there. What do you guys think about this?
You know, so
What do you guys think about that?
we can see content.
Well, exactly. We'll give you our point of view, and we want to make sure that you guys, you know.
We'll try to stay up on that.
Exactly. And we'll stay up on that. And we'll
Try
give
to
our
stay up
posts.
on giving you guys articles and different viewpoints throughout the week of different events. Not just sports, but just elevated thoughts. Just to get your mind going.
And then we had another comment there on our Facebook page, you know, for my homie Calvin out there, who is a Colts fan. You know, I went to high school with him, and we grew up in the football team, and he wanted to talk about how KC shut down Andrew Luck in the offense. And it all starts in the front lines between the offense and defensive lines.
But they were doing so good, though.
You know, they were. However, though, the Colts switched it up in this game to where KC's best attribute in defense is his pass rush. It sucks in the middle with the linebackers. They suck in the secondary. But their best attribute is their pass rush, and they were able to get to Andrew Luck, rattle him, and cause a strip sack, which potentially determined the game at the end of the day. So, when it comes to his question, is what happened to Andrew Luck, what rattled him? It all started with the front lines in the offensive and defensive line. Andrew Luck is a stud. He was on fire. However, if the offensive line doesn't produce, he's not going to produce neither.
That is true. The offensive line got to protect the quarterback.
Exactly.
Every great team has a great offensive line.
And they're always under Luck.
It's on both levels, too. It's on the running game and on the passing game. Because if you got a great line who protects the quarterback, he's going to get you those great passes.
Yep.
If you got a great line that's making those blocks and everything, that running back is going to be running all day.
Yeah.
It all comes down to that line. If you got a weak line, that's it. You got nothing. We know that personally, right?
Yeah.
We had our Turkey Bowl game, and this guy was a defensive player, and I had to play some offensive line.
And they all started in the line. Yeah.
Him and our friend Freddie.
Shout out to Freddie.
Line.
Yeah.
Freddie. And it was myself back there, and I had two other guys, but it was tough. It was tough with these guys. It's that definitely in the trenches is where the games are won, I think.
Yeah, and they're always won there especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, you got to keep that old school mentality of football, and that's why with this weekend's biggest question is going to be in these conference championship games. Which type of offense or which type of generational thinking will be better, which will be high, fast, passing every play, octane offense with the new type of football, or keep it the old school grinding handoff up the middle, north south running,
south north
running type of mentality with the old school type of football.
I guess we'll find out.
Nah.
I mean, the Saints they got a great team.
The Saints could do it. They could run.
They got the running game. They got the passing game. They got the receivers. It's just they have everything. It's clicking for them at the right time. The Chiefs, although I think if they had, I think it was Kareem Hunt.
Yes.
It'd be a whole different.
Yes.
Team.
He is the wild card.
Yeah.
We're going to see him in the NFL next year.
You think so?
You best believe.
You think he'll be back?
Yes, he will be back.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a controversial. That was like a Ray Rice type of situation. So I don't know, man. I don't want to talk about that, but I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs aren't the full team to beat the Patriots. If they would have had Hunt, I would have thought so. But Andy Reid just doesn't have that luck in the playoffs.
Patrick Mahomes hasn't proved himself yet. Yeah, he won his first game.
Andy Reid has proved himself to not be able to do good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like he hasn't proved himself. He's proved himself to be bad. Maybe he has the right component now with that quarterback to take him to the next level.
Yeah, his only Super Bowl appearance was with the Philadelphia Eagles when they played the New England Patriots.
Yeah. And
when T.O., with the broken leg, was the player of the game.
Hey, go T.O.
T.O. We're going to go ahead and transition from our previous one, which we were talking about the conference championship games coming up this weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We got the one that got away is the name of the segment.
Yes.
We're going to pull up the NFC championship game. We're also going to be pulling up the AFC championship game. The AFC championship game, obviously, against the Patriots and the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Is what to be the coldest game in Arrowhead Stadium history.
The new snowball.
Oh, it's gonna be cold, man.
So we had a snowball.
Used to it, because I mean,
they played the cold. They played the cold.
And Kansas City Chiefs, yeah, they played the cold. They're used to it, but record-breaking cold.
But the word is allegedly it's louder in Arrowhead Stadium than it is in New England.
So not only do you have the cold, you have the loud fans against you.
Exactly. So it's going to be great. You know, this is a chance for Patrick Mahomes to shine and to prove that he's got that egg factory to proceed to winning the ultimate title, which is a Super Bowl in the NFL. Or you got Thomas Brady.
The GOAT.
The man, who's been there,
Greatest of all time.
yeah, who's been there,
Greatest of all
who's
time.
been there 7 times, looking to go to his 8th.
No, wait. He's been there 8 times.
Yeah, 8 times.
Has he been there 8 times?
Yeah, he's won 5, lost 2.
Oh, so 7 times.
Yeah. Wait, I lied.
Yeah.
I lied. He's lost 3, so it's gonna be his 9th time.
Yeah, he lost to the Eagles.
Yeah, he lost to the Eagles, so it's gonna be his 9th time.
Yeah.
I lied. I'm 1 year behind. I thought we were still in 2018.
I'm like, wait.
I lied.
Hold on.
He did lose to Nick Foles, who just lost to the Saints.
Yeah.
You know, so
but
his
come
run,
on,
yeah.
Man, Tom Brady, all these championships.
On to his
that
9th.
he owns.
Yeah.
How many AFC championships does he have?
Hey, you know what?
I don't know
AFC
that
championships? Of course, he's gone to the Super Bowl, what? He's gone to the Super Bowl 7 times.
8 times.
8 times, so he's won 8 titles.
8 titles. Yeah. Dang.
Since 2001, that guy has won his conference, his AFC conference, 8 times.
I wonder how many times he's won the division. He owns the division.
Yeah, man.
Who's the Bills? Who's the Buffalo Bills? Who's the Miami Dolphins? And who's the New York Jets in that division? Honestly, like, I don't even think that's relevant.
No, they haven't been relevant.
Tom Brady has existed in the NFL. They have not been relevant.
The Jets had a run to Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez, but that was only for what, 1 year?
Yeah, I don't know. I my money is
Wait, before you say anything,
money. Yeah.
Like, if you want to make some money, we got the odds here.
We do.
So, Keeks, what are the odds? Starting with the Patriots and the Chiefs game.
Patriots and Chiefs game. The Chiefs are -3, which makes the Patriots +3. Personally, I think the Patriots +3 is a gimme.
You can't bet against Tom Brady.
With +3 too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're giving him +3. The over and under is 57.5. So I don't know. In that cold, they do score a lot of points, both teams. But in that cold, I don't know, man.
In that experience,
I don't think they're gonna be able to play that level of football in that cold.
so who you got?
Oh, definitely the Patriots. +3 for sure.
You're taking the points?
Put your mortgage on.
Okay. What about in general?
Don't take that advice.
What about in general? See the over under. The over under. Would you take the over under too? The over under is what, 57.
57.5.
57.5.
I wouldn't touch the over under. I put my mortgage on the Pats.
Yeah. I'll take the Pats and the points.
+3.
But I'll take it one further.
You want to do the over under on that?
I want to take the over under. I'll put the Patriots money line. Straight up. They will beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. You know, it would be nice to see the Chiefs, you know.
That's nice.
But at the end of the day,
Would it be bad?
Yeah.
What is it? +130? I would assume?
I will imagine they're the underdogs, so you're gonna get money
Yeah,
off of the
+130 or
Patriots.
something like that. I'm not quite sure what that one is.
Yeah. So you want to bet them if you're gonna bet them. You know, if you want to bet them on the money line, you bet them now before the line decreases.
Oh yeah. When we get closer to game time, it's gonna be a whole different.
So you're gonna bet them now to get your money's worth on the money line, and at the end of the day, I would take the Patriots, but it would be nice to see the Chiefs. Either or.
I like Andy Reid. I got a soft spot for him. I don't know why. I like him as a coach.
Yeah.
He's a really good coach.
I like him as a coach too, but in this situation, I want to see the old school prevail over the new school.
Whoa.
So I will definitely take
Fix it.
the New England Patriots over the Chiefs. And I will take it in the over too, where it's 38-30 New England.
High scoring game. In a cold ass.
Tom Brady proves why he is the
GOAT.
motherfucking GOAT.
That's true. Okay. We also have the Saints and the Rams
In the NFC,
in the NFC conference.
what's the line on that?
We have the Saints at 3.5, which makes the -3.5, which makes the Rams +3.5. And the over/under is a 57. Myself, I take the Saints for sure. What do you take?
You know what? I would really like to see, of course, Drew Brees end his career. You know, with the Super Bowl appearance.
It's a great team.
You know, but
I
however,
don't see why not.
my theory on this is the over under. What's the number on the over under?
It's 7.
57 straight
About
up.
the same.
Yeah. So it's about the same as the first game.
Two high-scoring teams on each side.
I think this is going to be a defensive game. I think this is going to go. This is score less than the Chiefs-Patriots game.
You know, I think it's the complete opposite. That's what I think.
Just because of the fact.
The Patriots and the Chiefs game is going to be a under. And then I also believe that the Saints and Rams is going to be an over. That's for sure. Because they're in a dome. They don't have the weather. You know.
It makes sense.
With them playing. I think the Saints and Rams is going to be a high-scoring game. Patriots and Chiefs, I see maybe 23-17 type of game. Really cold. Really cold.
I say they're going to keep running to stay warm, and they're going to hit the over. This game, they hit the under because what the Saints couldn't do against the Eagles.
All right. Well,
at
that's
home.
what we think. What do you guys think?
Let us know your
We
predictions.
appreciate those comments.
Yeah.
You let us know who you think's going to win between the Saints and the Rams and the Patriots and the Chiefs. It's going to be a good weekend.
So your predictions for this last game, and then we're going to ask our what do we call them? What do we call our behind the stage people? Our roomies?
Roadies.
Our roadies. So let's our roadies over here. We'll ask them their predictions after our predictions here of the NFC Conference Championship games. So Enrique, who you should say Keeks? Who do you have? The Saints over the Rams.
I got the Saints at home, and I got the Patriots taking it to the Chiefs.
Okay, I want to see Tom Brady right off in the sunset on how he started his career in winning a Super Bowl against the Rams back in 2000, in the early 2000s, and now he's going to beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. So I got the Patriots advancing over the Kansas City Chiefs in the over, and then I have the LA Rams upsetting the Saints in New Orleans, and they're going to meet for Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, Georgia.
Nice.
So let us know what your predictions are on our Facebook page. Shout us a message, post on our Facebook page, and we'll discuss them next week and let you know where we stand with our predictions from today on the next week's show.
Of course. Thank you guys. To reiterate everything, Top 5 Plus 1 is one of our segments where we also covered the NFL playoff games.
Top 5 best.
Top 5 plus 1. Go ahead and tell them what those were again real quick.
A quick recap there was the Niners prevailing over the Falcons in the
honorable mention.
In the 2011 NFC Championship game.
Okay, go ahead.
And then number 4, we had the Colts upsetting the Patriots in the 2006 AFC Championship game. And then in number 3, we had the 2011 AFC Wild Card game where the Broncos and Tim Tebow upset the Steelers 29-23 in overtime. Then number 2, I had the 2001 AFC Divisional game, the infamous tuck rule between the Patriots and the Raiders, where the Patriots eked one out 16-13. And number 1, 1998 NFC Wild Card game, Niners, Packers, T.O. with the catch number 2. Look it up on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet.
There we go. And we also had the Keeks and Fiji plus 1 with our beer and spirit connoisseur, Sean, who introduced us to Maker's Mark.
So, Sean, before we continue on, who's your predictions on this week's conference games? You got to say something.
I see he took he took the Saints.
Let's go with the Patriots.
Okay, Saints Patriots.
All right, Saints.
All right.
Patriots.
What about Mark Martinez?
Martinez, who you taking?
Rhodey, number 2.
Rhodey, number
Over
2.
on both of them. Saints plus the points. Patriots plus the points.
So he's taking
the old
Saints
school
minus 3.5, and he's taking the Patriots at plus 3, and he's
taking the
both
over.
overs.
Yep.
All right, that's good for him. All right, so once again, thank you, Sean, for the Maker's Mark Manhattans that we got introduced to with the sweet vermouth and the Maker's Mark and the cherries. Very delicious drink. I would have
Looking forward for next week.
Salute, yeah.
In keeping with the whiskey brand, And I want to thank you again, Sean,
I think,
Mark Martinez.
Basil Hayden's next week. Just so you guys know, we're not sticking to whiskey. We're gonna try different spirits. Like he told us, he has different selections: tequila, rum, different types of cocktails. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. We also had the 9 minutes plus one, where we talked about a few questions that we had on our Facebook. I did want to mention Julissa Zambrana too.
Julissa.
Yeah, she pulled something out. What'd she say?
Yeah, she said to keep the. She wants to acknowledge the females in the sports world.
Well, there is male and female, right?
Exactly.
I mean, there's plenty of athlete females that do really, really good. Serena Williams.
Yeah,
look how far she's
the best one for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's just the one off the top of the list. Her sister is right there too.
So we'll make sure to get women in sports involved too as well. You know, show their their athleticism, show their
maybe wrestling too. Isn't Ronda Rousey? Isn't Ronda Rousey doing wrestling?
She's doing wrestling now, but it's the fake type of wrestling.
Shout out Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. And of course, we'll keep women's college basketball involved too. You know, UConn's not dominating anymore, so
hey man,
we'll let you know who will be dominating here.
Right, once again, shout out to Juan Pablo Lepe, Jules Contreras, and
to the homie Calvin.
Yeah, thank you.
Colts will be back next year.
Hopefully next week we have more comments and more people we can shout out. We also talked about the one that got away, where we talked about the NFL Conference Championship games. We also made our predictions. That was pretty cool. You know, everybody. We had Mark Martinez. We had
our roadies, roadie 1 and 2. Yeah, they know what's up. They both agree here with taking the Saints and the Patriots for Super Bowl 53.
Why not, man? Those veteranos.
It's still a veterans game.
Yeah, those veterans.
Don't bring those college coaches to the NFL.
Also, a special shout out to Christian Espinoza for always asking and requesting our podcast. You know, it's pretty cool that he always asks me. He's like, when are you guys putting out content? You know, put out more. I'm like, oh, that encourages us to do more, right?
To keep it rocking.
Yeah, of course. Also, shout out to Larry and Christy at Computer Core. They were able to help me out with my laptop today. They spent some time. Thank you, guys. I also had Larry subscribe to our YouTube, just like I hope everybody else does. Elevated Thoughts with Keeks and Fiji. We're going to try to do this every Monday. Hopefully get it out to you by Tuesday. Once we get this one out, I'll give you guys a timeline of when we'll be able to put the content out, but it'll really be relevant to when we shot it, so within a day or two. Do you have anything you want to put in?
That's it. You know what? Stay tuned for episode 2 of season 2 of Elevated Thoughts with Keeks and Fiji.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Boom.